It's fundamentally the 6 critical success factors, and it starts with ambition, drive, passion, resilience, commercial intellect and leadership. But if you want to really build something of huge scale, you've got to have all 6 of those in massive abundance.
Is there one piece of advice that's stuck with you over the years that you can maybe share with people that are just starting out?
Most of the advice I've ever been given, I've done the opposite of.
Life advice, business advice, I would highly recommend Love, Pain and Money.
Love, pain and money, that's my life.
What do you think, John, most entrepreneurs get wrong when they try and scale a business?
They get so much wrong. One of my great philosophies with people is don't embed any time bombs into your business.
Okay.
When people are growing fast, they often make silly decisions, like getting into a new premises that at this moment they might not need, but it would be nice to have.
Yeah.
And it might be on a lease that's too long.
Yeah.
And if there's a downturn, they're trapped into those overheads. Look at the worst case scenario, be pessimistic, but then be positive to gain the very best result that you can. So the difference between my scenarios would be disaster scenario down there, which is absolutely dire.
Yep.
But this is where I'm shooting for. I'm aiming to get to Mars, or whatever analogy we could use. I'm shooting for the stars, but I'm prepared in case I actually get dragged to hell. In that way, you very rarely get dragged down to the bottom, but you do often gain the stars. But you're prepared for what might go wrong all the time to protect yourself against that downside.
When eventually you do hang up your cycling shorts, or whatever analogy we want to use, what legacy do you want to leave?
Well, first of all, I don't ever expect to hang anything up. It'll only be health that stops me.
Okay.
So if I'm lucky enough to be healthy, and I work very hard on that, so that's back to luck, but yeah. I try and make my own good luck by doing everything right from a health point of view. But I don't envisage that ever happening, because I've got so much on. I've got all these building projects, I've got charity, and there's no end to the charitable aims that I've got to try and improve the lives of various sections of the community, mainly children. So the work never comes to an end. So, and I don't see it as work, it's my life. And my life is mixed between social, family, charity and business. And it all merges into one. Like tonight, we're having dinner together. It started as a charitable thing.
It did.
We've become friends now, but it started with charity.
Many people would say when you've made it, when you're a millionaire, certainly when you're a billionaire, everyone automatically retires to the beach and starts drinking pina coladas or, the golf course. For me, my life's mission only became clear when I could afford to do pretty much anything I wanted to. And I always say, people don't generally discover what they want to do until they don't have to do anything. And for you, I think your legacy is all about giving back. I'm so proud to know someone that belongs to the Giving Pledge. I think that's incredible, and I'd love to do that myself one day. Working like hell, making something of yourself, and putting yourself in a position where you can help other people. The main reason I'm here, or 2 main reasons I'm here. Number 1, you're a fantastic guy and I love spending time with you. But number 2 is the Life Changers Circle. I've just had the privilege of being invited to join the Life Changers Circle, which I'm honoured to have done. What is it? Why did you set it up? Why is it important to you?
Well, I think you should answer that, since since you've joined, you should know what you've joined.
I do.
You do, good. There's 2 charities that I major on, Caudwell Youth and Caudwell Children. Caudwell Children is for disabled children.
Yes.
And Caudwell Youth is for young people who are at risk from sexual abuse, criminality, and we try and protect them and keep them safe with mentoring. So I came up with the idea, it was during COVID actually, of forming a Life Changers Circle, which would be people that pledge to donate £1 million over 10 years.
Yes.
They can pledge it to either charity, and they join the Life Changers Circle. And the idea is not that they get something back for that. The idea is that it's a spiritual satisfaction of doing a lot for these young people and investing in the young people of Britain and other parts of the world eventually, but mainly in Britain at the moment.
Yeah.
As a byproduct of it, we've got a great group of people. They're all like-minded. They're all charitable. Yeah. They're all successful in their own ways, and there's a great camaraderie amongst them.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's a bit of interchange of business, but that's not the purpose of it. No. If that happens, it's devoid of my intentions. It's just that naturally when business people get together, they spark off each other and sometimes do things together. But more than anything, it's a charitable club that of like-minded people that really tend to all get on extremely well with each other and end up becoming a group of philanthropic friends.
Perfect. And speaking for myself, I believe deeply that when people achieve a certain level of success in life, they want to give back in some way. That could be to charity, could be to medical research, it could be a whole range of things. I'll tell you the single thing that most attracted me to the Caudwell charities and working with yourself, because realistically, you can't set up a charity on your own with £1 million. It's just, it's not possible, is it?
No.
You can't.
No, not to be effective.
It needs to be a critical mass and much more than that. So I was clear that I wanted to be involved, but I didn't want to do it myself. But having said that, the most single important factor was, the causes were great, but many charities have got great causes. The single factor was this: you pay for all the overheads yourself. So every penny that is given actually goes to the intended beneficiaries, to the children, to the youth.
Yeah.
At what point did you make the decision that you were personally going to cover the overheads?
At the beginning, because I was working for the NSPCC. I was actually on Prince Andrew's Full Stop campaign for the NSPCC at one time. And the NSPCC at one stage, I don't want to criticise them because I think they're a great charity, but at one stage they got criticised, like a lot of charities do, for heavily administrative and marketing expenses. I don't want to be defending that situation. There was a bit of internal politics as well. I thought the best way is I set my own charity up, and if I'm going to do that, I'm going to pay all the costs through the company, so that nobody can ever level that as an accusation against the charities that I'm founding. And that's how it started. And when I sold the company, I just picked up the bill personally myself. And that's what I've continued to do. But I also donate a huge amount to it as well, on top of that, because I donate my boat and various things. So Modesta and I, between us, probably raise maybe 2 million a year plus on top of the donation I make. Turning
to butterfly balls, because you've got 2 set piece big charity events. Big. I've never been to an event like that where room full of really lovely people having a lovely evening, and the amount of money raised for charity that evening was quite impressive, wasn't it? I mean, it was over 2 million.
We it varies between 1.5 million and 2 million in London, and approaching 1 million or 1 million plus in Monaco. So it does very well. We could do better, but it's still one of the leading bulls in the country.
It's fantastic.
In Monaco.
So if somebody's done well financially, business, whatever, and they were interested in joining the Life Changers Circle, what do you think is the best way for them to do that? Do they need a personal introduction? What's the vetting process?
Just to contact Joanne, who's my charity ambassador that works for me personally, and she's the one responsible. She's the person that you've met a lot. And Joanne is completely responsible for managing the Life Changers Circle and making it all work and coordinating the guests.
So what we're going to do, if you're all right with it, John, is we'll put the contact details for Joanne around this video somewhere. I don't know where it'll be. So if you're out there and you've done all right and you can afford, because here it is, bottom line, this is for people that have done well, that want to give back. You have to be in a position that you can afford 100,000 a year for 10 years. It's $1 million over 10 years. But if you're at that stage of your life where you want to do it, then I know that this man and his organisation will make you feel so incredibly inspired and grateful for the opportunity. And I'm telling you that firsthand. So if that's you, then get in touch with Joanne. She's gorgeous. And probably get yourself along to a butterfly ball first.
Definitely.
Wouldn't be
Find out more about the charity and what we do. And it's very inspirational for people to see that work that goes on.
Caudwell Youth is a lot younger as a charity. Vulnerable young people, vulnerable young adults that haven't had the best chance in life. And I firmly believe that we're all one step away from a very, very different life. I mean, my life could certainly have been very different if I'd made some different choices. I mean, is that part of why you wanted to help?
Well, you can actually... No, it isn't. It just came along. These people needed help. They've been running this charity before. And it got into financial difficulty. It was badly run. The trustees weren't very good, and it was going to collapse. And they came to me for a donation first of all, but the donation was all going to go to the taxman because they were behind with the tax. I said, well, I'm just going to put money in to do that. It's pointless because you're still going to to fail eventually. And anyway, it evolved that I set up another charity, and those people moved into it.
Okay.
And then we started driving it forward. And to your point about giving a young person a chance, we're finding that those people that are either going to be repeat criminals or they're very on the edge of criminality, of those people, we put a one-on-one mentor with them, and of those people, 80% of them end up on the right pathway. And if you think of the benefit to society of that, it's one less victim, or multiple less victims, multiple probably, it's one less prison sentence, and it's one less young person whose life has been criminalised and goes to prison and probably comes out even worse. So the saving to society in every way, shape or form is enormous. And it is only a young charity, it's only 2 years old. And the biggest challenge we've got is, I mean, apart from the fundraising, the biggest challenge we've got is expanding it around the country. Because the infrastructure requirement, every young person gets their own individual mentor who is a volunteer. So it's one-on-one mentorship. And that just achieves absolute miracles for that young person. I mean, you made the point that you're interested in. It really touches my heart because we are stopping those young people from having a life destroyed. And even those people with mental illness, and we're not a mental illness charity, but just the mentorship, nearly every young person with mental illness says that their mental illness has improved by having this person to liaise to. And you know, a lot of members of the public probably wouldn't understand that, but these are people that have probably not got decent parents. They might have no parents. They've been in the care system often. They've got nobody of a good nature and a respectable nature to liaise with who can help them and inspire them. And our mentors are just generally ordinary people, but with good hearts and good moral values. So that influence makes a massive difference to society.
And well, maybe, hopefully, this message can help potentially in that regard as well, because, you know, let's say again someone's watching this and they feel called to be a mentor.
A mentor, yeah.
How would they contact?
Well, they'd contact Caudwell Youth. There's a Caudwell Youth website, and they just contact Caudwell Youth. And if you put the spelling on there, because my name C-A-U-D is a bit awkward, you know, people misspell it all the time.
Well,
but
let's hold this up so the camera can see it. So Caudwell Youth, like that.
And please just contact them, because we are always desperate for mentors. There's no end to the amount of work that needs doing. I mean, I estimate nationwide there's 100,000 young people that need help. 100,000. And we're at the moment going to help this year perhaps 300 and odd. And we're in a very confined area. We've got to spread it throughout the whole of the UK.
Let's spread the word and start now.
It's a huge job, infrastructurally and people-wise and money-wise.
And once again, thank you for your time. Incredible, inspirational. Love spending time with you, John.
Thank you, Paul. Pleasure.
See you very soon.
Yep, sure will.